It is the Great Reset. You are about to own nothing and you will be happy.
As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game.
The Great Reset is about to be unleashed. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is November 10th, 2025. And this was another video that was not on my radar, but I knew that I had to get out as soon as possible. So I'm going to show 3 clips of leading into the articles that we're about to get into just to lay the foundation. So let's get into these 3 clips.
In the future, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's what the World Economic Forum wants for the Great Economic Reset, which is right around the corner. But will you really be happy not owning anything? Let's take a look. You may not even realize it, but owning nothing is on the agenda and it's already started. For instance, instead of buying software like Photoshop and owning it, you now have to rent it and you pay a monthly subscriber fee. Instead of owning a car, some people pay for ride shares. They pay a monthly fee to be part of the ride share service. Instead of buying a book, you download one to your iPad and you read it when you want, but it's not actually yours. Once you stop paying the monthly subscription fee, the books disappear. And the same is true with the movies you watch on Netflix. You're paying a subscription fee and you can download them for a certain amount of time, but once you stop paying the monthly fee, everything disappears. We're already heading towards a world where we pay only for access. We're well on our way to not owning anything anymore. And you better believe when the prices of houses go down, more and more corporations will buy them so that they can rent them out to us. And we will pay monthly subscriber fees. So the owners, the 1%, they can relax and do whatever they want, knowing that no matter what, every month we will be paying them a subscription fee for the rest of our lives, because we won't own anything and we'll be happy. And that is the stated goal of the World Economic Forum, which is composed of the world's wealthiest elite. Their goal is to own everything and rent it back to us. And their goal is to do this by the year 2030.
And look at this from 2 days ago. Donald Trump is proposing a 50-year mortgage. You will own nothing and be happy. If you get your first house at 30 years old and you have to get a 50-year mortgage because the prices of houses are so crazy, you will never own your house. You will be renting it from the bank forever.
World's wealthiest elite. Their goal is to own everything and rent it back to us. And their goal is to do this by the year 2030. So, if you're looking forward to owning nothing, it's almost here.
Listen, bro. What I'm about to tell you might sound wild at first, but I need you to stay with me, because it's straight from the Bible. Not from movies, not conspiracy videos. Real truth that's already unfolding right in front of us. The system that the Antichrist will use, it's not something that's coming soon. It has already started. Right now, while most people are distracted, the foundation is being built. Look around. The whole world is shifting. We got digital money replacing cash. AI systems that know your face, your voice, even your thoughts. Every phone, every camera, every app collecting your data. Governments saying, we're doing this for your safety. But deep down, you know it's more about control than protection. People can't even move or buy certain things without scanning a code. They call it convenience, but what it really is control disguised as comfort. And guess what? The Bible already saw this coming. Thousands of years ago, Daniel wrote about this exact kind of system. He said in Daniel 7 verse 23, the fourth beast will be a kingdom that rules the whole earth. That's not just one country. That's a global system, a one-world government. And look what's happening. Countries joining together, talking about global digital currency, global ID, global control. It's not coincidence. It's prophecy playing out in real time. They're building the tools right in front of us. Digital IDs, cashless transactions, online passports, AI tracking, and everyone's clapping for it because it makes life easier. But the enemy is smart. He doesn't come with horns. He comes with technology, comfort, and fake peace. They say, you'll own nothing and be happy. But what that really means is, they own everything, and you just follow the system. Jesus already warned us. He said in Matthew chapter 24, verses 4-6, take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. He wasn't only talking about people pretending to be him, he was talking about deception on a massive scale. People putting their faith in systems, in leaders, in technology, and forgetting about God. And now we got wars, rumors of wars, food shortages, and fear all around. Fear makes people obey without thinking. That's exactly how the Antichrist will rise. Through fear and false peace. Then Revelation connects it all. Revelation chapter 13 verses 16-17 says, he causes everyone, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark, so that no one can buy or sell unless they have it. Notice it says buy or sell. That's economy. That's daily life. And what are they working on right now? Digital money, central bank digital currencies, where they can track every single purchase. They can turn off your money if you don't follow the rules. Sound familiar? That's exactly what Revelation warned about. Here's the scary part. People will accept this system because it looks helpful. They'll say it's for safety, it's for order, it's for peace. But peace without Christ is just fake peace. It's a setup. And that's how Satan works. He doesn't force the world overnight. He builds it piece by piece until one day everyone looks around and realizes they're already in the cage. So this is not a time to fear. It's a time to wake up, to stop being distracted by the noise online and start paying attention to what's really going on spiritually. This world system is temporary. Governments rise and fall. But Jesus said his kingdom will never end. That's the only system that will stand forever. You see, when the Antichrist finally steps on the scene, he won't need to build anything. The system, the tech, the ID, the money, the control, it's already waiting for him. All he needs to do is take charge of it. That's why it's happening now, because we're closer than ever to the return of Jesus. So hear me on this. Don't get too comfortable with the world system. Don't put your trust in it, because when it flips, it'll demand your loyalty. Stay close to God, know his word, and when everyone else bows to the system, you'll be one of the few still standing firm in Christ. Because the Antichrist system isn't coming, it's already here, and only those with eyes to see will recognize it. Daniel 7 verse 23. The fourth beast shall be a kingdom that rules the whole earth. Revelation 13 verse 17. No one can buy or sell unless they have the mark. Stay awake, stay ready. Jesus.
And Larry Fink confirms that everything we own is about to be tokenized. That's when they take physical assets and assign a digital amount to that asset. Listen to this.
What are the biggest concerns today of central bankers about what's going on in the global economy?
I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization?
How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments?
I want y'all to hear that again. The bankers and the IMF and all the globalist organizations are in the background talking about how quick can nations digitize and tokenize everything. Listen to this.
What are the biggest concerns today of central bankers about what's going on in the global economy?
I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving, ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill-prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that, not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
This is sounding just like that 1980s Christian film Early Warning.
In reviewing this year's progress, let me say that we have been highly effective in conditioning the people's minds to accept our solution to the world's problems. The energy crisis here in the United States was exceptionally successful worldwide, and we expect similar success with our upcoming food shortage. Our labor leaders have made great progress by causing confusion and work stoppages in all areas of the world.
If you look at the world today, we're speeding down the same paths as the people in Noah's day, Sodom and Gomorrah, Jonah and the Ninevites.
By using this laser imprinter, we can painlessly and permanently affix the person's number to the back of his hand or his forehead if he so desires. The numbers would be easily read by this new ultraviolet scanning equipment. For the purposes of demonstration, I've had such a number imprinted on myself.
The Bible says in the last days the Lord's return will center around the nation Israel. God has always called Israel his fig tree. He said that when the fig tree starts to blossom, we know the end is near.
So when the Jews returned to Israel, then the fig tree started to blossom.
Hey, you catch on pretty fast for a newspaper man.
Our one world government will be a reality. If we continue on our present course, it is my opinion that we could present the devil himself as a world leader, and the people would accept him.
And God is telling us today by showing us signs that the time of the Gentiles is drawing to a close.
We expect some minor resistance, especially from highly motivated religious groups. But eventually, hunger will cause even the most zealous to conform to our program.
Now, doesn't that sound like...
What are the biggest concerns today of central bankers about what's going on in the global economy?
I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa?
Now, wait to see how this is all coming together. So this was June 19th, 2025 from The Blaze. BlackRock and friends may soon control your digital wallet. Don't be fooled by the bipartisan buzz. The Genius Act is a Trojan horse for centralized power, digital surveillance, and ESG-backed financial control. So Trump was celebrating the passage of the Genius Act. And this says, don't be fooled by this. This is a Trojan horse that is going to control us. And you say, oh, well, that was Larry Fink that said it. Trump's not friends with Larry Fink. Larry Fink is World Economic Forum. Trump's America First. I put, was Larry Fink on the advisory board for Trump's first term? Yes. Larry Fink who is pushing digitalization, who is part of the you will own nothing and be happy crowd, tokenizing every asset that you own, houses, cars, art collections, your computers, everything you own will be tokenized. He was an advisor to Trump in his first term. Larry Fink was on a business advisory board for President Trump's first term. He was a member of the President's Strategic and Policy Forum. Okay? Trump was taking policy advice from Larry Fink from the first week of his first term. While he's saying America first, the first week of his first term, Donald Trump was talking to Larry Fink and had him on his advisory board how to run the economy and policy. And here's their goal. And listen to some of the thoughts of Larry Fink.
I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
You have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And
I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets.
When there's somebody who's new in their role, a new prime minister, I will spend time. Generally, what I try to do is spend time before they win.
Y'all hear that? He's telling you that he meets with all the newly elected leaders of every country right before they win and advises them. Y'all don't think it's a global system? Let me back up some.
What I try to do is spend time before they win. General minister, somebody who's new.
All assets.
When there's somebody who's new in their role, a new prime minister, I will spend time. Generally, what I try to do is spend time before they win. It's just spending time with them and just saying, you have access to whatever information you need. And substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
So Trump was inaugurated January 20th, 2017. Okay. So here's from Trump White House archives from February 3rd. So 2 weeks later, remarks 2 weeks after his first inauguration. Remarks by President Trump in Strategy and Policy Forum. So let's go look at what he says about Larry Fink. And y'all, this is from TrumpWhiteHouse.archives.gov. I see we have Larry here. Where's Larry Fink? Larry did a great job for me. He managed a lot of my money. And I have to tell you, he got me great returns last year. And then they go crazy. They'll meet very smart people that made money. Why don't you let other people to run the economy? So he's telling you Larry Fink is running the economy. I said, no, we have to get the right people. And the people that voted for me understand that. And that's what they want. And now Larry Fink is a co-chair of the head of the World Economic Forum. So this was August 15th, 2025. World Economic Forum clears Klaus Schwab of any wrongdoing, and they name Larry Fink as co-chair. So Trump is palling around with the top dog of the World Economic Forum. And y'all remember Trump's trip to the Middle East during the summer? Guess who accompanied him there? Larry Fink went with Trump to the Middle East. Yes, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink accompanied Donald Trump on his trip to the Middle East in May 2025. Larry Fink was part of a delegation of business leaders who attended the Saudi U.S. Investment Forum. Are y'all seeing the picture? While Trump is saying America first, he is doing the work of the World Economic Forum, which is wanting to bring in a one world currency and the tokenization of all assets. Will tokenization be central to cryptocurrencies? Now remember, Trump just appointed the first crypto czar in U.S. history. Will tokenization be central to cryptocurrencies? And I just want to throw this in for free. Scott Bessent, who is the U.S. Treasury Secretary, was an employee of George Soros. The same George Soros that is admitted on a television interview that he toppled economies. Okay? So,
in the last 2 years, you've been blamed for financial collapse of Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and Russia.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Are you that powerful?
I think there's a great misunderstanding. I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do. As a competitor, I've got to compete to win. As a human being, I am concerned about the society in which I live.
Which George Soros am I talking to now? The amoral George Soros or the moral George Soros?
It's one person. It's one person who at one time engages in amoral activities and at the rest of the time tries to be moral.
So Trump's U.S. Treasury worked for George Soros, yet yes, Scott Bessent, who is Donald Trump's choice for U.S. Treasury Secretary, worked for George Soros' company twice. First as a managing partner in London from 91 to 2000, and later as the chief investment officer from 2011 to 2015. So this is where our Treasury Secretary worked. This is who he worked for. So y'all listen to this again, okay? This is a longer clip, just so you understand who's running our country. The people who worked under George Soros are now in control of our money and our economy. I worked for the man who admitted he topples economies.
In the last 2 years, you've been blamed for financial collapse of Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and Russia.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Are you that powerful?
No, I think there's a great misunderstanding. I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do. As a competitor, I've got to compete to win. As a human being, I am concerned about the society in which I live.
Which George Soros am I talking to now? The amoral George Soros or the moral George Soros?
It's one person. It's one person who at one time engages in amoral activities and at the rest of the time tries to be moral.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old. And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years.
Did y'all hear that? He was 14 years old and helped confiscate people's property. And he said that's where his character was formed. Now, Trump has a man that worked for a man that toppled economies, that from a teenager confiscated other people's personal property as our U.S. Treasury Secretary. And he's piling around with Larry Fink, who's pushing tokenization and digitization of all assets. This is going to lead to asset confiscation. Let's keep going. So let's get back on track. Will tokenization be central to cryptocurrencies? Yes, tokenization that Larry Fink is talking about, that advises Trump, is central to cryptocurrencies in the broader blockchain ecosystem, serving as a foundational element that is expected to become even more significant in the future of global finance. This one says, will tokenization be central to digital currency? Yes, tokenization is expected to be central to the future of digital currency as it provides a new framework for creating, managing, and transferring digital assets. So your house, your car, everything's going to be assigned a value. And tokenization is going to work with digital and with crypto. It allows for the creation of tokenized versions of existing assets, such as stable coins, tokenized deposits, which are foundational to building a more efficient and automated financial system. The shift is supported by growing institutional interest, with major firms like BlackRock and Citadel exploring tokenization to reduce costs and increase market access. Can houses be tokenized? Yes, houses can be tokenized, a process where a property is divided into digital tokens on a blockchain that represent fractional ownership. Y'all gonna have to do a deep dive on fractional ownership, okay? This allows people to buy and sell small shares of the property, making real estate investment more accessible, liquid, and transparent. Can cars be tokenized? Now remember, we're talking about you will own nothing and be happy. Yes, cars can be tokenized and is already happening in various forms, primarily to represent ownership, enable fractional investment, and create secure digital histories. The process involves converting the physical vehicle and its associated rights into a digital token. That means your title of your vehicle. That's associated rights. You own that vehicle, that is your associated right to that vehicle. Everything will be tokenized. Can somebody's personal art collection be tokenized? Yes, personal art collection can be tokenized, which involves converting the ownership and rights of physical or digital assets into digital tokens on the blockchain. This process, called asset tokenization, allows for fractional ownership, making it possible to divide high dollar art into smaller shares that can be bought and sold on digital platforms. Other people will have shares of your personal assets. That's what fractional ownership is. People buying gold bars for security. Can gold bars be tokenized? Yes, gold bars can be tokenized by creating digital tokens on a blockchain that are backed by physical gold stored in secure vaults. This process allows for fractional ownership, easier trading, and global accessibility. Are y'all ready for what's about to happen? Now, remember, we're talking about people that are involved in personal property confiscation. Let's keep going. Does the Microsoft 666 patent include tokenization? Patent WO 2020-060606, often referred to online as the Patent 666, describes a cryptocurrency system using body activity data and does not primarily focus on natural language processing concept of tokenization. The tokenization associated with this patent refers to the creation and management of digital tokens on a blockchain, where the mining or validation process uses the human body activity data, e.g., your brain waves, your body heat, instead of conventional computational work. The term tokenization, as it relates to this patent application, is in the context of creating and managing crypto tokens, facilitating token-based transaction. So here's the patent.
Body activity will be examined. Your brain waves, your body heat. Now listen to this. Hard to believe, but it's true. when people that take the hydrogel and get the biosensors in the body, when they perform a specific assigned task, those obedient people will actually be awarded cryptocurrency, and that'll be verified from their body activity. And again, this is not science fiction. This is reality. That's what they got planned, and they even put it on the World Wide Web for everyone to see, and it was patented 060606. The full patent name, or the number is WO 2020 060606. WO as in World Order. When this all began around March or whenever it was, they said, we have entered the new world order.
Genetic data marketplace, DNA tokens. Some platforms use cryptocurrency like tokens, e.g., nebula tokens, as a medium of exchange for genetic data, allowing individuals to trade or sell their DNA data for a price. Individuals may be rewarded with cryptocurrencies for contributing their genetic data to research or other projects. Selling your DNA for cryptocurrencies. This is from CNBC. Let me go up some. CNBC. You'll soon be able to sell your genetic information for new cryptocurrency called Lunacoin. Lunatic. A group of scientists and engineers are developing a new cryptocurrency that will pay people for their DNA test results. The lunatic coin for the lunatic people, the Lunacoin, is aiming to raise money through token sale in the first quarter of 2018. The company claims the Lunacoin will be a utility token. From Bioethics News, on soul body according to Aristotle. Let me go up some. Out goes the soul, in comes the gene. March 19th, 2018. They have been planning this for a minute, okay? Our ancestors revered the soul as the principle of the body's animation, okay? Let's keep going. Has the soul done its time? The DNA is a molecular soul. The brain is a neurological soul. Electron storage creates the silicon soul. Nanotechnology makes possible the atomic soul. For the naturalist or the materialist geneticist, the soul thus described clearly seems to evoke the genome. What is the genome? A genome is the complete set of your DNA or genetic instructions, and they're wanting you to sell your genetic information for cryptocurrency. Now, years ago, I told my friend Dewey I was stumped on one passage in the Bible that I couldn't figure out. This was right at the beginning of COVID, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, and I'd call him. I was like, I can't figure out what this means, the soul of men, selling the souls of men. I can't figure it out. And Dewey said, well, just keep seeking the Lord and he'll reveal it to you. Well, God gave me the revelation a couple of years back, y'all. Look at this. The phrase selling the souls of men appears in the Bible in the book of Revelation 18:13. The verse lists the merchandise that is being sold by Babylon the Great, the symbolic city representing a corrupt world economic and political system, whose destruction is being lamented by the world's merchants. They are selling the souls of men. They sell the soul, bodies, and souls of men. And here we're talking about selling your DNA that makes up who you are, that Aristotle says your soul is your DNA. And they are selling the souls of men. April 1st, 2025. Cryptocurrencies in our genes. buying and selling the DNA of human beings and putting cryptocurrencies in the genes. Bitcoin can now be stored in DNA. In 2018, a PhD student in microbiology encoded and stored the information of a crypto wallet in synthetic DNA chain. Synthetic DNA. Are y'all ready for this? And we've been hearing all about the mRNA vaccine. Is mRNA similar to synthetic DNA? Were they priming the body to be able to store this in their DNA? mRNA and synthetic DNA are similar in that they both nucleic acids made of nucleotide subunits and are involved in genetic information transfer, but they have key structural and functional differences. So I typed in like synthetic DNA, could data be stored in mRNA? The mRNA vaccine. Yes, data can be stored in mRNA, with researchers actively exploring it as a lower cost alternative to DNA data storage. While DNA is more stable for long term storage, the ability to efficiently and rapidly produce synthetic mRNA makes it a promising candidate for certain applications. And we have Larry Fink discussing how quickly can we move to cryptocurrencies and digitalization. Could digital currency be stored in human DNA? Yes, digital currency information can be stored in man-made DNA, though not directly into the person's natural DNA. Companies are using synthetic DNA to encode cryptocurrency wallets, addresses, and recovery phrases, and have successfully stored and retrieved this data. Human DNA's high data density and long term stability make it a potential secure and durable method for storing digital assets. And the World Economic Forum, Larry Fink, who's traveling around with Trump, who advises newly elected presidents and prime ministers, who Donald Trump now has George Soros' guy, and George Soros admits that he topples world economies. And Larry Fink talking about how quickly can we get countries to move to digital assets and tokenization. Now it's about to get biblical. If cryptocurrency is stored in DNA, could an implanted RFID chip be used with it? Yes. Are y'all hearing this? Yes. An implanted RFID chip can be used to store and manage cryptocurrency. And while it is a separate technology from DNA, some concepts involve both. An RFID chip can act as the digital wallet, securely storing the private key that can be used to access your cryptocurrency form. While DNA itself isn't used to store the crypto in this scenario, the combination of RFID chip for access and DNA for identity verification is a concept being explored for securing transactions. From Computer Weekly, January 18th, 2018. A lot was going on in 2018. Cash in hand. This cryptocurrency body implant will secure your cyber cash stash. Is the future of secure cryptocurrency storage and payment simply cash in hand? Inspect a Gadget looks at how one firm's human microchip implant could help. And look whose name is all through here. Perhaps less known among these is Ripple XRP. Technically, Ripple is an open payment network used to facilitate fast and cheap international money transfers. Think Western Union. For the blockchain era, it is the platform upon which its token currency, XRP, is transferred. And that's the currency that BuyChip is promising to support with the RFID chip, okay? In 2017, Bitcoin value rose by a whopping 1,500%. However, XRP's value rose by a staggering 36,000%. Could XRP be used to tokenize the US dollar? Yes, the XRP ledger can be used to tokenize the US dollar, not directly with XRP itself, but by using the XRP ledger to issue tokens that represent the US dollar. And Ripple XRP already has the chip implant.
Welcome to our Hackathon project video, where we showcase our innovative solution for the future of digital payments. Our project is called How Ripple CBDC Chip Implants Can Transform Your Life. Ripple is a company that provides solutions for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and stablecoins, which are digital versions of fiat currencies that are backed by reserves or assets. Ripple's CBDC platform offers a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and each solution is built on a private ledger that is based on XRP ledger technology, a proven blockchain that has transacted over 70 million times over the course of 10 years, and is trusted by financial institutions around the world. Ripple is currently working with more than 20 countries on CBDC plans, including Palau and Montenegro, who have chosen to partner with Ripple to create their national digital currencies. One of the key benefits of CBDCs and stablecoins is that they can enable faster, cheaper, and more inclusive payments for millions of people who are unbanked or underbanked. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, CBDCs in developing countries have the potential to bank large unbanked populations and boost financial inclusion. But how can you access these digital currencies in a convenient and secure way? That's where Ripple's CBDC chip implants come in. A chip implant is a small device that is inserted under your skin and contains a unique identifier and a secure cryptographic key. With a chip implant, you can store, send, and receive CBDCs and stablecoins using your own body as a wallet. You can also use your chip implant to authenticate yourself, access services, and make transactions without the need for passwords, cards, or cash. One of our engineers led demo of our project using his X-Acid implant chip to launch a Ripple XRP mining application.
Now hear Trump.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Before this cycle, in June of 2021, Donald Trump was saying, Bitcoin seems like a scam. Do you understand what happened with that transformation?
I didn't have a front row seat to that. I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Now, Trump is supposed to be over our economy, okay? But now he's creating his own economic system running parallel to the United States' economy.
Big news, the World Liberty Financial token sale is now live.
3 weeks before the election, Trump announced the launch of a new digital coin that he had a financial stake in.
Is that a conflict of interest in your point of view?
Whether or not it's a conflict of interest, the voters have knowingly said, we want this person to be our president. You know, the voters have spoken more so than I have.
Trump's cabinet picks have had very positive things to say about crypto. Here's what his choice for Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Fox Business News.
Crypto is about freedom, and the crypto economy is here to stay.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
And the man who just said that Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced him is the CEO of Ripple that already has the chip implant. With tokenized assets, could the government take ownership? Yes, a government could seize property that has been tokenized under the power of eminent domain or similar legal concepts in other jurisdictions, just as it can with any other private property. And it's likely that homes, along with other real estate assets, will increasingly be tokenized within the digital currency system. This process involves representing ownership of real estate as digital tokens on a blockchain. Tokenization could make it easier for confiscation because it creates a transparent, immutable, and easily transferable digital record of ownership on a blockchain. While this offers benefits like increased liquidity and accessibility, it also means that assets can be transferred rapidly and with a clear digital trail, potentially simplifying a government's ability to identify and seize them compared to traditional methods. This makes it easier for authorities to track and identify the current owner. Asset tokenization, the digital transformation of ownership and value. Asset tokenization, the process of representing ownership rights to real world or digital assets or digital tokens as digital tokens on a blockchain, stands as an important innovation that will reshape global financial markets and beyond. Tokenized real estate, how the next cycle of ownership could be fractional and global. In tokenization, what is fractional ownership? Let me get down to this. Okay. In tokenization, the fractional ownership is the ability to divide an asset, your house, your car, your art collection, your gold collection. In tokenization, fractional ownership is the ability to divide an asset into smaller digital units called tokens, allowing multiple investors to own a piece of your asset. It enables individuals to invest in high value assets such as real estate with a smaller amount of capital by purchasing a fraction of the asset instead of the whole thing. Yes or no? Does tokenization, in a sense, give everyone a piece of the same pie? Yes, tokenization, particularly in finance, breaks large, expensive assets into smaller digital tokens, allowing a broader range of people to invest in smaller amounts of capital. So let's say there's a $10 million house that gets tokenized, and then different people can invest in it and get fractional ownership. Somebody making $40,000 a year could buy part of that and own part of that $10 million mansion. Tokenization lowers the barrier to entry for high value assets like real estate, fine art, and venture capital, making them accessible to more people through fractional ownership. Programmable confiscation. Could tokenization of assets make it easier for a dictator to take your property? Programmable confiscation. Tokenization allows for programmable money or smart contracts. A dictator could theoretically implement smart contracts that automatically freeze or transfer assets if certain conditions are met, such as an individual being designated as a political enemy by the state. So if you don't worship the beast, they'll just take your property because now you're a political enemy and they have the right to take it? The crypto president?
Well, President Trump has a new statue, and it's standing along 3rd Street Northwest across from the U.S. Capitol. Students from Liberty University drove it into town. They came up with the idea for the 12-foot Bitcoin-themed statue, which took about 5 weeks to complete.
You know, this is a statement. You know, this is to show to everybody that without the president, we could never have had this mass adoption of Bitcoin, of the cryptocurrencies, of all these big institutions buying Bitcoin. And it shows that's the future, and this is our thank you, our statement to the president.
Statue's arrival coincides with this afternoon's announcement regarding the interest rates that were cut by the Federal Reserve. Organizers have not said where it will stand next.
2 months ago, from MSN, Trump family amasses a $5 billion fortune after crypto launch. The Trump family notched up as much as $5 billion in paper wealth on Monday after its flagship crypto venture opened trading of a new digital currency. Trump was, quote, elected to be our president and to oversee our government. And instead, he's running a competitive economic system against our own Federal Reserve, against our own dollar. So wouldn't it be advantageous of him to hold the highest position in the United States, to crash the Federal Reserve and bring in his digital currency that his family is getting rich on? So if he eliminates the competition of the US dollar, then he's going to force everybody to receive his digital currency. Now, Larry Fink, who is co-chair of the World Economic Forum, and this is from the World Economic Forum, he was discussing how quick can we get countries to transition. Now is the time for the Great Reset. Now, remember in the Ripple XRP chip implant, what the IMF said?
Faster, cheaper, and more inclusive payments for millions of people who are unbanked or underbanked. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, CBDCs in developing countries have the potential to bank large unbanked populations and boost financial inclusion. But how can you access these digital currencies in a convenient and secure way? That's where Ripple CBDC chip implants come in.
Are y'all ready? Now listen to what the IMF is saying right here.
Warning from the IMF, listen up.
You tell them to embrace it?
I'm telling countries, accept reality. Fiat money is moving digital. The developments in crypto, both unbacked and backed, they're happening with exponential speed. So yeah, you can try to lock your country away from this. Good luck with it. So yes, I'm telling my members, understand it and then decide for yourself how we are going to operate in this world. But do not close your eyes to reality.
The director of the IMF says that cryptocurrency cannot be avoided and you need to come to reality. BlackRock also gave you a warning. Digital. BlackRock also gave you a warning saying that digital technology is going to replace traditional finance.
Larry Fink of BlackRock, co-chair of the head of World Economic Forum.
BlackRock warning, listen up.
I'd say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill-prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that, not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
Larry Fink just warned everyone that the great wealth transfer is here. Digital currency is going to replace fiat currency. Digital currency is going to replace fiat currency. It's clear as day. We're getting a 21st century upgrade to our financial system.
Dr. Kissinger, our satellite time is running out. What wonderful opportunity to conclude our week here with such concrete proposals and ideas of how we can really create, I would say, a new world order.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prison. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amount of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling up, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
Can digital currency help climate? Yes, digital currency and its underlying blockchain technology can help address climate change by improving transparency in climate initiatives, enabling efficient carbon markets, and facilitating decentralized renewable energy systems.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
With crypto, will you pay with your face? Yes, you can pay with your face in the crypto world, though it's not a single standard and often relies on existing biometric technologies in your smartphone or hardware wallets. Crypto wallets are incorporating facial recognition for secure and convenient access. In crypto, can an RFID chip be implanted to work with facial recognition? Surprise, surprise. Yes, an implanted RFID chip can be used in combination with facial recognition. That lady just said in that last clip that the regular population has no idea on the psychopathy of the people in charge of us. So when I asked, is crypto, if an RFID chip can be implanted and used with facial recognition, I already knew that a yes was going to be on the front of that reply. And yes, an implantable RFID chip can be used in combination with facial recognition technology, primarily for enhanced identity verification and access control systems, including applications relevant to cryptocurrency and blockchain. According to the Bible, what is the end times beast system? According to the beast system, the Bible, the beast system is a prophecy from the book of Revelation involving a series of beasts culminating in a two-part system that enforces worship of the first beast, the Antichrist. The first beast is the Antichrist. A sea beast represents the Antichrist, who will be empowered by a dragon representing Satan. The second beast, the earth beast, is the false prophet, is often interpreted as the false prophet who will perform signs, create an image of the first beast, and force people to accept the mark of the beast, 666, to buy or sell. So, some people said Elon Musk could be the false prophet. The first beast describes a rising from the sea. It has given power by the dragon Satan, the Antichrist, is commonly interpreted as the Antichrist who will command the worship. The second beast described rising from the earth is the false prophet who will work to deceive humanity into worshiping the Antichrist. The false prophet will perform signs to make people create an image of the first beast and give it life, and it will force everyone to receive a mark on their hand or forehead, and without it, they will be unable to buy or sell. And remember, Elon Musk's nanny said that he was going to introduce the mark of the beast?
Let me tell you something. I'm an old lady, kind of. I'm 55. I was born in San Francisco in 1965. When I was a girl, I was in San Francisco. I was procured and sent to work for a family. There were 3 generations. There was a boy, the boy's mother, and the boy's grandfather. They were coming from Africa. They were white as me. I thought they'd be black. And anyway, the boy did something very dark. And I never told him what he did. And then one day I asked someone in the circle, Imelda, Joaquin's mother. I asked Imelda, I said, is he the Antichrist? I was 13 years old. She didn't even blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage.
And at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, guess who just happens to come back in the picture? Okay, supposedly Trump and Elon Musk had a falling out, right? And they weren't friends anymore. So how did Elon Musk get access to Trump when Trump was at this Charlie Kirk Memorial? I'm sure security was pretty tight around Trump. I'm sure Secret Service was in a circle, surrounding the wagon, keeping Trump safe. So, how did Elon just get access to Donald Trump when everybody knew they were supposedly feuding? And how was there an open chair right next to Trump? And they're showing you Elon Musk coming to take his seat next to Trump. Are we at the turning point?
President Donald Trump was spotted shaking hands with Elon Musk during the slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk's memorial on Sunday, September 21st.
So y'all think about that, okay? This was set up to show them reuniting, coming together at Charlie Kirk, the olive branch. Because there's no way in the world, if Trump did not give the Secret Service permission for Elon Musk to have access to him, he would not be there.
U.S. President Donald Trump was spotted shaking hands with Elon Musk during the slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk's memorial on Sunday, September 21st. Trump was joined by members of his family and senior Republican leaders at the...
Did y'all see both of their hands? Like they were talking to each other? Look at that.
And senior Republican leaders at the service in Arizona. Trump was seen speaking with UFC CEO Dana White when Musk walked over and shook hands with Trump.
Really? He just walked over, moseyed on up to the president. Your enemy. Your enemy. Everybody knows that Trump and Elon are enemies, supposedly. They had the falling out. So would the Secret Service allow a president enemy to just waltz up to him? He could do, harm. He could have ill motives towards the president. And there's no Secret Service sitting right there. They just let him mosey up. Did the first and second beast just unite?
This is really a big day. As we sign the landmark Genius Act into law, so the Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. Consumers, vendors, and people all over the world will then be able to use those stable coins for ultra-low-cost transactions that are cleared and settled in a matter of seconds rather than weeks and months. It's really an amazing thing. And with the privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and this will increase demand for U.S. treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come.
She says here, Congress is secretly pushing for a cashless society. She says here, Congress is secretly pushing for a cashless society, citing the mark of the beast.
The groundwork is being laid, currency that can be controlled by the federal government. I've read the Bible, and I believe what Revelations 13, 16 through 17 says, and I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
She says here, Congress is secretly pushing for a cashless society.
Marjorie Taylor Greene links Trump's crypto bill, the Genius Act, to the biblical end of days as she quotes the book of Revelation. Georgia lawmaker equated a lacking provision in the bill as apocalyptic warning given in the Bible. Georgia Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene invoked the Bible on Wednesday to declare her opposition to a landmark cryptocurrency bill, equating the legislation's potential impact to the biblical end of days. Referring to a passage of the book of Revelation, Greene insinuated that if the bill, called the Genius Act, did not explicitly ban digital currency from being issued by a central bank, it could lead to the demise of the world. She said, "I will not vote for this," Greene wrote on X. "The only way to guarantee a ban on central bank digital currency is through law," and it passed. Trump signed it into law. The Georgia lawmaker went on to cite Revelation 13, 16 through 17, which claims each person, regardless of their wealth or status, must have the mark of the beast. The Bible says, rich or poor, free or bond. A metaphor for evil and often associated with 666. In order to participate in buying or selling, it is part of the biblical story of Armageddon. The Genius Act, which stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, seeks to create a regulatory framework for stablecoins to inform a cryptocurrency that is considered less volatile than typical cryptocurrencies. And here we are. It passed. And she called it the mark of the beast, the groundwork for the mark of the beast. And here again, could digital currency be stored in the human DNA? Yes, digital currency that Trump just wrote the framework can be stored in DNA, not in the biological human body, but in lab synthesized DNA. Synthetic DNA. And mRNA is a form of synthetic DNA. If digital currency were stored in the DNA, would that be part of the intranet of bodies? Storing digital currency in DNA would involve integrating data storage within a biological system. This concept aligns with the Internet of Bodies, a network of human bodies and devices and systems that monitor the human body and collect health and other data. How blockchain will help us control our genetic data that you can buy or sell and trade for crypto. Each person owns his or her own DNA. If that DNA is connected to their wallet and it's encrypted, only they have access to their DNA, but they can buy and sell it. Yes or no, could an implanted RFID chip be the connection on the interbody network? Yes, an implanted RFID chip can serve as the connection point, both an internal intrabody network in developing technological sense and an outward scanner. So you'll have the nanotechnology in your body, okay? But you're going to need something to read what's inside of you. The scanner is on the outside that would read that information. The RFID chip would be the connector between the Internet of Bodies technology inside a person and the external scanner. And the RFID chip would let the two connect and talk to each other. Outward scanner connection. Standard implanted passive RFID chips are designed precisely for this purpose. They are activated and powered by radio waves from an external scanner, allowing the scanner to read the unique identifier stored on the chip from a short distance. This ID can then be used to access external data such as medical records or door access systems. The intrabody network connection. While conventional simple RFID chips store an ID, research is exploring advanced miniature implants that form a network within the body. In these experimental systems, one implanted device might act as a way station or the central receiver to communicate with smaller implants. Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the biggest MAGA supporters there was. And she has enough sense to realize we are racing towards the mark of the beast. And Larry Fink, who advises Trump, is saying we need to start moving on this quickly. Let's look at this 3-minute song, and it's going to close up the articles that are behind it.
As his plan for replacing cash, checks, and credit cards with new personalized 666 barcode system were implemented, peace and order began to be re-established. Now, in tonight's program, our great world leader unveils Stage 2 of his plan for the perfect world. The amazing new 666 biochip implant, guaranteeing you physical health and spiritual well-being at the punch of a computer key, plus the guarantee of lifelong security within the new 666 world order.
Watch out for 666. Watch out for 666.
In a vision of the future, I saw in a vivid dream that the hour is soon coming when men will become machines. A new one world order will rise and then demand that all the world's people receive their scientific brand. I saw a tiny free program
wanted to point out on all these end time movies about the mark of the beast, what is always involved? The police and the military. In early edition, the military was hunting them down. In A Thief in the Night, and The Distant Thunder, and Prodigal Planet, the military was hunting them down. In Gray State Trailer, the military was hunting them down to enforce the mark of the beast, and he causes all to receive. And the people that don't are killed. And who's going to round them up? The military. But let's not get ahead of myself.
When the collapse comes, the FDIC admits that they will send out an announcement. So get ready for this. They admit they will send out an announcement and they will tell us not to use money. This is how that's going to go down. They tell us that they plan on telling us on a Friday night. See if you can guess why they would tell us on a Friday night that the banking system has collapsed.
There are a lot of things we've been thinking about, and what we want to hear from you today is what you think the priorities would be in order to go about setting expectations appropriately in public about how we would execute Title II. So that if and when we do have to have that announcement on Friday night, ideally Friday night, that people are in a position to receive it, understand it, and say, yeah, that works. And we can see how this will happen. Of course, there will be doubters, but there's a lot of things going on.
So Friday night, of course, the banking system is closed. So people all weekend can just be at home freaking out because, oh, wait a minute, I just lost, what's going to happen with my money?
Yeah.
My bank's going, like, we're in this economic, what the hell are you going to do about my money? It's gone. They're admitting, like, this is coming.
Now, what's going on? Trump is putting the military in all 50 states. Why is he pre-positioning the military in every state? What is about to happen? What is the military about to be utilized for?
We have some big news right now. Top military officials have ordered the National Guard in all 50 states to begin the creation of quick reaction forces trained in, quote, riot control, including the use of batons, body shields, tasers, and pepper spray.
So, rapid response teams. So when they collapse everything and people are freaking out?
Top military officials have ordered the National Guard in all 50 states to begin the creation of quick reaction forces trained in, quote, riot control, including the use of batons, body shields, tasers, and pepper spray, according to a new directive issued by the United States Pentagon, reviewed by The Guardian. This rapid response quick reaction force that will be trained over the next several weeks and months will be about 23,500 troops. About 500 troops per state are required to be trained. Many are now saying that this is setting the stage for the President of the United States to use the National Guard as his personal police force in protest-like scenarios. The Guardian even cited an expert who said that in a worst-case scenario, the president could declare a state of emergency and say that elections are rigged and use allegations of voter fraud to seize ballots of secure voting centers. Spread the word.
Now, from Forbes 3 days ago, White House is considering purchasing large warehouses for immigrant detention, report says. Okay? And what kind of warehouses are they buying? Described by a Department of Homeland Security official as mega detention centers, the warehouses would be retrofitted to serve as holding facilities and vastly increase the amount of people who could be detained at a time. Warehouses designed for but never used by Amazon, the company has denied any involvement in this plan, are among the options being considered. Okay? So they're looking at warehouses around the country to house people in. So I typed in, is Amazon closing warehouses? Yes, Amazon is closing some warehouses, often due to a strategy to modernize its network, a response to the slowdown in e-commerce after the pandemic era boom, or in some cases to shift to a more modern or same-day delivery facilities. Y'all don't think that one of the richest men in the world has the top advisors and could run algorithms to predict what the future was going to be, do you think that he would invest trillions of dollars of build and warehouses and then being, oops, we didn't plan for the fall off of e-commerce after the pandemic ended, which I don't even think shopping online has decreased. I think it's increased more since the pandemic. But did Amazon build these warehouses for the U.S. government to keep suspicion down? Because the United States government is going to buy these Amazon warehouses and they will own these warehouses. How many warehouses is ICE looking to buy? The exact number of warehouses ICE is looking to buy is not yet determined, but the agency is reportedly considering purchasing large warehouses in the southern U.S. These facilities are being considered as part of a plan to increase immigration detention capacity. Y'all, Amazon has our biometrics. Amazon has our biometrics for Department of Homeland Security. The same people that are going to be rounding people up and storing people in Amazon's warehouse. The same Amazon is holding the biometrics on every person. Amazon Cloud is used by the Department of Homeland Security to store and process the nation's biometric data, which includes databases like Homeland Advanced Recognition Technology System. The move to Amazon Web Services GovCloud is for a system that contains biometric data on millions of individuals, and the Department of Homeland Security has implemented security and de-identification measures to protect the data. 2019, Department of Homeland Security to move biometric data on millions of Americans to Amazon. Y'all, I cannot help but to think that this is Rex 84. Now, a couple of years ago, I did a full-length explanation in depth what Rex 84 was. This is Rex 84, okay? Rex 84 was a real classified contingency plan and drill developed by the U.S. federal government during the Reagan administration. This plan did have the potential scope to involve the mass apprehension and detention of Americans under specific extreme circumstances. So Trump is buying all these Amazon warehouses and up front saying it's for immigrants. But y'all, this is Rex 84. This is Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North being grilled by Congress.
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster? Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir.
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
may I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And y'all, they are televising the military rounding up and ICE rounding up these, quote, immigrants on television, getting them out of their cars, out of their job. They are conditioning you to getting used to seeing this. And now every state is going to have activated military.
We have some big news right now. Top military officials have ordered the National Guard in all 50 states to begin the creation of quick reaction forces trained in, quote, riot control, including the use of batons, body shields, tasers, and pepper spray, according to a new directive issued by the United States Pentagon, reviewed by The Guardian.
So they're training the military for rapid response. Trump is buying warehouses. We know that Rex 84 was real. Let's read this again. Rex 84 was a real classified contingency plan drill developed by the U.S. federal government during the Reagan administration. The plan did have the potential scope to involve the mass apprehension and detention of American residents under specific and extreme circumstances. Now, I've shown this before, but let's look at this again, okay? The plan to silence dissent. Joe Rose, reprinted with permission from Sojourners, February 1986. I was 20 years old. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is a little-known government agency. So this was how many years ago? 30, almost 40 years ago. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is a little-known government agency. Boy, didn't they grow up. FEMA occasionally makes headlines by assisting the victims of tornadoes, floods, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. But FEMA's powers go far beyond relief efforts. It is now also prepared to widely curtail basic civil liberties in the event of a national disaster. In April 1984, President Reagan signed a highly classified document called the NSDD. According to Daniel Sheehan, attorney and investigator for the Christic Institution in D.C., the directive contemplates the president unilaterally declaring a state of domestic national security in the event of direct U.S. military intervention in Central America. Under the directive's provision, FEMA would then be called upon to enforce a domestic side of the administration's Central American War Plan. The NSDD is similar in many ways to Project Gordon Plot, former President Nixon's unimplemented contingency plan designed to round up and detain thousands of U.S. citizens opposed to the Vietnam War. Two of the Project Gordon Plot's most enthusiastic supporters were Ronald Reagan, governor of California, and his special assistant, Edward Meese, who now is the U.S. Attorney General. When they came to Washington, Reagan and Edwin Meese appointed their longtime associate and friend, Louis Grafada, to the director of FEMA. Grafada recently left FEMA in hopes of a higher post within the administration. Now listen to this. In a state of domestic national emergency, FEMA's role would be crucial in silencing dissent to the administration's policy. So if we don't like Trump deporting people to El Salvador or to Alligator Alcatraz, or denying people their due process, or if Trump wants to implement digital ID against protesters that he has now called up the rapid response team. So Rex 84 could imprison Americans. In a state of domestic national emergency, FEMA's role would be crucial in silencing dissent to the administration's Central America policy. According to Sheehan, FEMA, with the assistance of state National Guard units, and all 50 states right now have activated their Guard units. According to Sheehan, FEMA, with the assistance of all state National Guard units, would, under the proposed plan, be authorized to summarily arrest, to arrest, detain, and imprison undocumented Central American immigrants. FEMA officials are also seeking the authority to arrest at the same time U.S. citizens whose names are listed on a classified administrative index kept by the FBI. Oh, kind of like the Palantir national database that they just compiled on everybody. FEMA officials are also seeking the authority to arrest at the same time U.S. citizens whose names are on the list. Those arrested would be detained at 10 national detention centers located on military bases in the United States, which are now being readied for possible use. And now Trump is buying an unclassified amount of Amazon warehouses. Other preparations for a state of emergency have also occurred. In 1984, FEMA supervised a secret project codenamed Rex 84, conducted simultaneously with Operation Night Train, a simulated U.S. military operation in Central America. Rex 84 tested FEMA's roundup scenario and the government's mechanisms needed to implement the plan. They are flat out talking about the Great Reset, digital money, tokenization of all the assets to put with the digital currency on the blockchain that can be used with an implantable RFID chip that can connect you to the Internet of Things, that can connect you to this global system. They're talking about Trump wrote the executive order on militarizing local police. Now he's activating rapid response teams in all 50 states, and he's buying warehouses. Do y'all not see what is about to unfold? It's getting really biblical now. Keep your heart on Jesus. Repent of any unconfessed sin. If you're backslidden, come back to Jesus, because we need to make a determination right now where we're going to stand, because it is going to be on us quickly. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?